I'd like to call Patty Wells and Laura Burns. Don't you try to escape. Just for a couple minutes, if everyone wants to stretch for a second. And then just take some questions from the audience, if anyone has any that these guys would like to discuss. So Patty, come on up. I'd like to thank all of you, first of all, for staying in the heat. And I'd like to take a question. Anybody have anything they'd like to bring up? Because I got questions too if nobody volunteers. Anyone? And I'd also like to mention we have plenty of wine, plenty of beer, and some great food coming out as well, so don't feel you need to hurry out of the door when we're done chatting. So with that, anybody in the audience have anything they'd like to bring up based on what we've talked about today? Well, in that case, I've got questions. First of all, Eric, how's your health?
Pardon?
How's your health?
Oh, it's perfect.
Good. Patty, Laura, Eric, all of us want to know, the market is rough right now, obviously. Where do you guys see strength in the marketplace? Patty, come on up.
You're talking about me, not economics?
Sure, well, yeah. Where do you guys see clients coming to you with projects right now? Anyone want to take that up?
Okay. All right, I just got a couple of new projects. Hey, let's all give a round of applause. That's big, right? I mean, look, the market is really crummy. We all know that. And the market is really crummy. We all know that. It's been tough on all of us. I am so happy that I actually have 3 new projects. Oh my God. A lot of them, I'll tell you, all 3 of them are from previous people. So your past does stay with you. And I think that's one thing, regardless of market. Do good work now. In the past, continue to do good work. You will be rewarded. And one project I'm doing is a home. Another one is a 7,500 square foot medical office building, because the husband was the chief of staff of Scripps. And the other one is another home that was just purchased for cash. There is money out there, but I'll tell you something. Everything has to do with your reputation, the quality that you've done in the past, the honesty that you've done in the past, and where you're heading. Being green certainly helps. However, having the relationship is even better. I think that new people have a more difficult time because you don't have that build-up. And so I'm grateful for the years behind me. It's a difficult time, and all I can say is just do everything to keep your vision and your ethics and your trust in what you do and what you choose to make your reality, and you'll be successful regardless. Because there is money there. It just is slow in coming, but it is coming out.
I have a lot of students that come to me and they say, I want to be green, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to make that transition. And there's no transition to make. What I tell them to do, and what I did, because I'm very stubborn and set in my ways, is that when I was just starting out, every person I met, I said, we should do this as this organic green thing. And it scared off a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people. And I just hung in there. Because I was worried that if I just kept doing non-green projects, I would get stuck. I would get shoehorned and stereotyped in that way. So as much as it scared off the wrong people, what I found is that eventually and quickly, it brought in the right people. And that's really the best advice. That's what we've been doing now. We've been switching from residential, which is pretty kaput, where we had 14 projects go on permanent hold, whatever that means, to switching over to hospitality and production builders, and helping production builders who build those awful ugly tract homes do something that's less ugly and hopefully more attractive and certainly more green. And it's basically just me going in there saying, look, here are the opportunities you're missing, here's the money you could be saving, here's the improvements you could be making, and here's the marketability you're missing. And luckily, because of the gray in my hair, they believe me a little bit. But we've been out hunting for work like everybody else, I guess.
Okay. I'd like to add one thing, is that you still need integrity as designers and architects. And I had to turn down a project just recently. It broke my heart, especially in this economy. How does one turn down a project? They liked me the best because I was green and I would bring a lot to the table as far as media. I get a lot of media attention. However, my own integrity said I couldn't take this project because their budget was insufficient. And I laid out all the reasons why, and that I would love to do their work, but I couldn't unless I had more monies. But there was other ways of working this project if they wanted to stay within that budget range. And so the other thing is I had to let it go. And I guess in my mind it's like saying, okay, I let it go to let something else come in, but at least I stood firm to where I am. And I think that's important for people to really stay clear and not, especially in these times, and not to really do less than who that you are. Good design will always trump fast and easy. And I just want to really make sure that everybody stays in that framework. To me, good design includes green design. I mean, I don't know how else to design but green. Does it I tell people, well, I used to, not necessarily right now, is that I tell them after the fact, because it didn't register, it didn't make sense. But however, with various tools nowadays, with all the rebates and all the people that are working, like I'm working a lot with the John's subgroup and Empowered Energy, and they are doing all the little paperwork garbage that I don't want to deal with, the homeowners want to deal with. Yet it makes sense because they get all this energy credits. I'm working with another group called Reuse People USA. When you do remodeling, they will come and take all of your products and they will sell it or give it to people in Mexico, to Habitat for Humanity. You don't have to deal with all that nonsense. The client doesn't have to deal with all that. They get their credit, their tax credit rebates. It's fabulous. And you also know you're not doing landfills, and John is cutting me off again. There's so many neat things. Yes. He has a question.
Question, James?
Yes.
Eric mentioned a few things about like growing buildings with trees and walkways you might walk down, where you might bury it, and really, growing walls. Can you say something about like growing structures and big trees on the roofs?
Well, we're in the infancy of actually growing a structure, but I would love the idea of genetically engineering a seed pod, putting it in the ground, and growing a house. That to me would be awesome. And then your client gets married and needs more space, and they just plant another seed, and then they have kids, and then they just